Chillin' with Larry Megan.
Well, good evening to you wherever you may be. We're chilling with Larry and Megan once again on a Thursday night. And tonight's going to be a little bit of an adventure. What I mean by that is I got my main man, Ronnie, over here, and we're training Maddie on the engineering. So no pressure tonight, Maddie. Take it easy over there. It's a learning curve. You got to do it about 50 or 60 times before you get the hang of it, okay? So no pressure. So we're going to take it nice and slow. But listen, tonight we're going to be featuring a great all-time classic movie in the classic film zone. It's called It Happened One Night. If you're a classic film buff, then I know you're familiar with that one from 1934. It won 5 Academy Awards with Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert, and we're going to have Barbara Rosene from New York. She's going to come in and help us to go through that movie, and she'll tell us all about it. And I'm looking forward to that. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, and when Barbie mentioned it, we jumped right on it. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about American Idol and The Voice. I love these singing competitions, and I guess it's my guilty pleasure to watch these shows. And tonight, spoiler alert, Hee-Jun went home. And listen, the kid has a lot of talent. These last 9 kids all have talent, but I thought Hee-Jun should have gone 2 weeks ago, so it was time for him to go. He did make a nice bounce back this week for sure, but now at this point with 8 left, it's anybody's game, and we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. Now, if you're new to Acorn TV and you're watching us for the first time, please click on the Facebook icon over on the right-hand side, and it'll take you right to our Facebook page, the Acorn TV fan page. Excuse me. And just like our page. We'd appreciate that. Follow us on Twitter. And also, finally, share this feed if you could. Just click the little share button in the lower right-hand corner of the player, and you'll be able to share this on your Facebook page. All right. Lastly, of course, we want to invite you to participate with us. Ronnie, if we could, or Maddie, Ronnie, if we could flash the phone number. Thank you, guys. If you want to talk about, the American Idol with us, or The Voice, or even the Classic Film Zone when we get into that, or anything else you feel like talking about, we'll give it a try. You see the studio number right there, 310. And also, if you have Skype video, we can bring you in with a split screen by way of video Skype, and we'd love to have you on the show. Now, let's get into our section that I have dubbed our Do-Re-Mi section. Do, D-O-U-G-H for money. These kids are all competing for money now. Big money. We're going to start, I'll put American Idol over to the side for a second, and we're going to start with The Voice. And The Voice, I'll tell you what, I have really come to really like this show a lot. I started watching it last year in its debut season. I love the coaches, Blake Shelton, CeeLo Green adds a lot to the show. Christina's that's my girl. I love Christina. And Adam Levine he's a kick too. But the thing about it, honestly, is this week, I don't know if you watched the show, if you felt like I did. I thought it was one of the worst episodes of The Voice that I've ever seen. It was truly difficult to pick a battle to show you. I always like to show you during these battle rounds. This was the final week of the battle rounds, thank God. But I always like to pick at least one. I think last week we showed 2 because there were some really good battles. The last one of the show, was probably the best one. I didn't totally love it, but it was probably the best one. So I'll show you that one. Or possibly I did prepare 2. But let me tell you what happened on the show this week. Again, I thought it was pretty much of a down week this year, this week. But first of all, this was the final week of the battle rounds. So now all 4 teams are set with 6, singers on each team. So they started off the show with Team CeeLo. And on Team CeeLo, they had Wade versus James Massoni. Now, Wade was the, and we have some pictures of these guys, gentlemen. Okay. Yeah, here we go. Thanks, guys. We have Wade versus James Massoni. Now, I had high hopes for Wade, and I know that CeeLo did too, because he's the one who came out there and he sang auditions, he sang Rehab by Amy Winehouse, but he did it in a Marvin Gaye kind of way, old Motown kind of way. And I know that CeeLo really had high hopes for him, but honestly, he choked. He gave these kids True Colors by Cyndi Lauper. And honestly, it wasn't, neither one was that great, honestly. James Massoni is the one who works in a garage in Boston for his dad. And by default, CeeLo was hugely disappointed in Wade. He felt that he choked. He was the nervous one, and he was the one with more experience. So they gave it to James Massoni, who looks like he could be in a boy band or something like that. But he wasn't all that great either. A weak competition to start it off. Next up, they had Team Adam. And on Team Adam, they had Matai and Nicole Gallion, I should say. And Nicole Gallion is another one that was very disappointing this week. I was pulling for her. She's the one that she wants to be a country piano girl. She's a country girl from Nashville, and she plays piano. And you don't see very many female singers that are piano players in country music. But she said she's going to break the mold. This is what she wants to do. Unfortunately, in the battle rounds, they tried, but they really didn't feel that the piano would fit up there in the ring. They had it in the ring in rehearsals, but they felt it blocked the whole stage. So she had to perform without her piano, and she was like a fish out of water. And, Adam was very disappointed by both of them. He thought it was a horrible performance by both. He said that he was hugely disappointed, and he was let down by both. And by default, he went with Matai. So Nicole, she's gone. Matai is the one on the left there in the yellow dress, and Nicole is the one that plays the piano, but she's now gone. Next up was on Team Christina. Now, this one was a really interesting competition. I love the way that Christina handled this particular battle. These were the last two on Christina's team to have a battle, and it was Moses Stone, and he's the first hip-hop MC rapper that they've ever had on The Voice, versus The Line, which is, it's like a country boy-girl duo here. And what she ordered up for them, she gave them the song Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. So a rock song for the country duo was way out of their genre, and singing anything, any kind of song was way out of the rapper's comfort zone. He's a rapper. He's not a singer. But she forced him to sing, and his mentor was Lionel Richie. And, Christina brought in Lionel Richie, and basically Lionel says, man, you've got a voice, use it. And so I give this kid a lot of credit. He brought a lot of swag to the stage. In fact, you know what? Maybe this is the one we should show, because the other one wasn't super great anyway. At least this one was kind of interesting. I did load them both in there. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look. This, to me, was a very interesting battle. It wasn't super great, but it was at least interesting, and I'll let you see who Christina picked. Check it out.
Satisfaction. some girl. Said, babe, better come back later this week. Cause you see, I'm on the losing streak. Can't get no satisfaction. I say, hey, that's what I say. Can't get no satisfaction, baby. I can't get no. I can't get no. Come on, let's go. I can't get no. 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 I can't get no.
Give it up for Moses Stone in the line. Wow.
Yeah.
Christina, tough decision coming up in a little bit. CeeLo, some thoughts on that battle?
That was great. That was cool, man. I didn't know this you sung as well. My man Moses. Yo, you really worked the stage like a natural, man. You got so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So much personality, so much charisma and swagger. So like, I like you, kid. Right? And so, in the line, when I heard you break away and do your individual part, like you got a very strong voice. And of course, I like your compatibility together. You guys work very well together. That's why you're a group. But in terms of just all-around performance, I'm gonna go with Moses.
Thank you.
Thank you, CeeLo. Adam?
It was just a really unorthodox take on a song, and I always like that. The freshness of it is cool. If I had to choose, because of the fact that the show is called The Voice, and because I'm focusing on that, I would say that while your performance chops are clearly really amazing, and you're an entertaining dude, 100%, I think that I'd probably go with The Line. That would be my choice.
Blake Shelton.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty weird. But I still think it was good. I agree with Adam, you know, both sides did really good, you know, but I would have to go with The Line also.
Christina, the decision is yours. First, some thoughts on the
All right,
performance.
guys. First of all, The Voice does not have to be a specific thing for this show. It doesn't have to be this powerhouse, incredible, over ad-libbed vocal. It doesn't have to be straight country. It doesn't have to be soul or R&B or whatever. You know, in this business, you have to be able to know how to be versatile and how to expand and how to grow as an artist in any scenario, against anyone, any song, anytime, anywhere, because that's The Voice to me. That's The Voice to me.
Preach.
All right, Christina, who is the winner of this battle?
Oh, my Lord. You know, I said a lot. I need to make a decision, and the winner is Moses.
Well, there it was. You know, again, for a kid that, you know, really is not a singer, you know, he actually did a pretty nice job of singing. I thought that girl Haley in the line, she had a tremendous voice. But and you know, we cut it off right there. But if you know, if we had the extra few seconds, she was really pissed off. Usually, these contestants that don't get picked, you know, they're always very gracious in defeat, and they're, you know, they say nice things. She was really upset, and she was not a good loser there. She felt that she got cheated up there. But in any case, she's gone. They're gone. You know, the next competition was Team Adam, and this was a pretty interesting competition as well. It was Orlando Napier, and this kid has a lot of soul. I really like this guy. And it was also Carla Davis. She's kind of a country girl, and she's kind of new to singing. This guy, Orlando, though, he's been singing for a long time. He plays piano. He's got a lot of soul. And originally, Adam had assigned them Rich Girl from Hall & Oates to sing. And Orlando said he never heard the song. He didn't know it, which was kind of shocking. I mean, everybody's heard Rich Girl, haven't they? So they went into the studio to rehearse it, and it just wasn't landing very well. So I've never seen them do this ever since last year and this year. But Adam said, okay, and he changed the song. He changed it to Easy by the Commodores and Lionel Richie. And, you know, Lionel Richie is a mentor on this show, but he's a mentor for Christina. But anyway, so he changed the song in rehearsals, and they went with Easy. And it kind of should have played right into Orlando's wheelhouse, but for whatever reason, you know, maybe I think the big thing with him was he really wasn't that comfortable on stage. His vocals were fantastic, I thought, but he's used to playing a piano, and that's his crutch. He sits behind a piano. Again, got the piano taken away from him, and he really didn't know how to move out there. Carla plays guitar. She was out there without her guitar, and she actually had kind of an epiphany when she was rehearsing with Team Adam. Her mentor was Alanis Morissette, and Alanis, kind of showed her how to get her voice to be bigger. And so she said, and when she discovered it, she discovered something like a breakthrough. She ran around the piano and she hugged Alanis Morissette, and she called that her Big Bertha inside of her. And so she was really thrilled, and she did a nice job, and Adam picked her, and Orlando got sent home. So that was, I don't know, again, it wasn't a great battle because, again, they were both pretty awkward on the stage. Next up on Team Blake, again, a real funky battle. I thought this was the weakest show I've ever seen for The Voice, but it was Jordan Rager. And this guy, Jordan, he's a young kid, and he's a country. I mean, in fact, Blake said, he says, country is dirt. That's what he said. Your country is dirt. And he really has that twang in that country, and it was a perfect match for him to get with Blake Shelton, of course, the great country singer. But he teamed her up against Naya, and Naya Kete, she's a street performer, and they showed her performing on the street. And of course, I recognize it very well because it's on the Santa Monica Promenade, the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and she's performing with her brother and her family and so forth. And she plays for donations, basically. And The Voice found her down there, one of the producers or associates, and they invited her to be on the show. And she's got the dreads in her hair and everything, so she sings this kind of islandy, reggae-ish kind of song and kind of way, I should say. And Blake gave them a song called I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, and it was right in her wheelhouse. And it really, in my opinion, was very unfair to this country kid, because this country kid really had a nice voice, but he took him out of the country. He gave a song right in her wheelhouse. And frankly, he was probably better than her in a way, because Blake even said when he came to judging, he pretty much chastised her by saying, you were breathy when you went to sing. The notes didn't even come out. All that came out was breath. And then which you never see the judges scold their own people, but that's what he did right there. And it seemed like a certainty at that point he was going to pick the country kid after saying, you just, all that came out was breath, and the notes didn't even come out. But he surprised everybody, and like Blake usually does, he takes the girls. He's very protective of his girls, and he sent the country kid home packing. And, the kid took it with such grace. He thanked Blake. He said, it was a great experience and everything. And anyway, so she went through, and the kid went home. And then finally, the final battle of the night, and now we can get into the live shows next week, was Team CeeLo. Tony Vincent, he's a singer from Broadway, and he's all glammed out. You see, he's got the shaved head and everything. He wears mascara and fingernail polish and all that. And he went up against Justi Hopkins. He's a bar band singer. And this probably was the best battle of the night. This was the one I was going to show you instead. And, instead we showed the other one. And they gave them, CeeLo gave them a huge song called Faithfully by Journey. And you know what? Let's show it. You want to show it, Ronnie? Yep. All right, Maddie, let's go ahead. We're going to show this battle. It was probably the best one of the night. We don't necessarily have to show all the judges' comments. Let's just let them see the performance, and that's it. So here it is. Check it out.
Highway run into the midnight sun. Wheels go round and round. You're on my mind.
Restless hearts sleep alone tonight, sending all my love along the wire.
They say that the road ain't no place to start a family. Right down the line, it's been you and me. And love and a music man ain't always what it's supposed to be. But oh, girl, you stay. forever yours, faithfully. Oh, being apart ain't easy on this love affair. But two strangers long to fall in love again. I get the joy of rediscovering you. Oh, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully.
Give it up for Justin and Tony, Team CeeLo. Not an easy song to sing. Great job, fellas. CeeLo, you'll have a difficult decision here. Someone's gonna move.
Well, there it was. And like I say, that was probably the best battle of the night. It was the final spot on the show. And CeeLo went with Tony Vincent, the Broadway singer. And that was a tough battle. These two guys had become really good friends on the show. They were like rooming together. They're both in a similar situation where they got their wives and their babies and their kids. And, you know, actually, Tony Vincent, I guess his wife is pregnant. She hasn't had the kid born yet, but they're trying to, you know, obviously make a life and a career and a family and, you know, for their families. And it was hard, you know, they really had a real friendship going. So that was probably the only real good battle of the night, you know. So that's it. Next week we have the live shows, and now this week on American Idol, okay? For American Idol, I will say this. It's kind of coincidental that we had the worst show probably, you know, that we've ever seen on The Voice, and then this week might have been, I don't know if it was the best Idol show ever, because I can remember some great contestants that I really liked, but it was certainly the best show of the season without a doubt on Idol. Not really a stinker in the bunch. They had 9 performances last night individually, and they also did 3 different medleys where they did performances of 3, where they grouped 3 idols, 3 of the contestants together at a time, and they really weren't being judged on those. It was just a performance of medleys, and that was kind of cool too. And all 9 of them really did a nice job. You know, I mean, there might have been maybe a couple of bad song choices in there, but a really deep season this year on American Idol to go 9 deep. Usually you get at 9, you're kind of waiting to get down to 5 or 6 to get rid of all the, you know, the contestants that aren't that great. But you really had 9 people who could sing here, and they all did, you know, great. Now, you know, I had my favorites, of course. But this week, the theme was, for the show, was the idols could pick their idol, or if not idol, if that's too strong a word, but they could pick their favorite or who influenced them or who they like and sing what they like. And so maybe that's the reason why the performances were so great this week, or why it was such a great show. Maybe they ought to do that every week, because usually on American Idol, every week they give them a theme, like a couple weeks ago it was Billy Joel songs, or that might have been last week. And maybe some of these idols don't connect with these different themes if it's Rock Week or whatever. But here they got to pick their own. And so everybody was kind of in their own comfort zone, and it showed. They also had their guest mentor of the week was Stevie Nicks. And who doesn't like or love Stevie Nicks? I mean, she is such a great songwriter. She'll write songs while she's, you know, having breakfast. I mean, this girl writes hundreds of songs, her Fleetwood Mac days, and she was an absolutely fantastic mentor this week. One of my favorite mentors I've ever watched on American Idol. She did a fantastic job. But going first this week in the Kiss of Death spot was Colton Dixon. Now, Colton Dixon last week, he was the one that, he ended the show with Billy Joel, the Piano Man. And he had what they call the pimp spot last week. Well, this week they gave him the kiss of death spot, the first spot. Nobody wants to go first because by the time they get to the end of the show, everybody forgot about you. But anyway, his choice was really an odd choice. And I'll admit, I haven't heard of all of these choices. I'll tell you that right now. But he chose a song called Everything by a group called Lifehouse. Never heard of them. He said it was his favorite worship song. Now, if you're not following the show, what this guy is doing, and he's been doing great, but he's bringing, just like Tim Tebow, for example, in football, bringing his religious beliefs right out there on the field. Colton is certainly doing that here on the show, and I think that's going to serve him very well, actually. But it could backfire too. And by the end of this song, he was literally down on his knees on the ground as if he was praying, and his grandfather was in the crowd, and his grandfather was crying, and you could even see, Colton had, tears in his eyes as well, and Jennifer was like, that's the way to start the show, and Steven said, every time you sing, you own it, and the judges just loved him, and it was a great start to the show. For me personally, I thought the song was kind of slow, but it was still a passionate performance and a great performance. Next up was Skylar Lane. She's the country girl from Mississippi. And this was another solid performance. She chose Miranda Lambert, and she said, when she was being interviewed by, Ryan Seacrest after the song, she said she's got 4 CDs in her truck. And they're all Miranda Lambert's, and that's all she listens to. And she says she sings Miranda Lambert every day. And, the judges didn't go totally crazy over it. And, possibly one of the reasons, why maybe they didn't go totally crazy for it. She did a super job. The song was Gunpowder and Lead. And Jennifer said, well, you had your this energy that you always bring to every performance, and that's her one of her favorite parts of the show is to see Skylar unleash her energy on the audience here. But maybe they didn't go all crazy for it because Miranda Lambert, of course, is a mentor on The Voice with her husband Blake Shelton. So maybe they didn't want to give credit. I don't know, but I thought it was strange that they didn't give her a little bit more raves. And of course, I think Stevie Nicks really liked this girl too. It was a great session there. Next up was Hee Jun, and Hee Jun, he's the one who got sent home tonight. This was really a redemption night for Hee Jun because last week he did My Life by Billy Joel, and he kind of clowned it up a little bit, which I thought was kind of cool. It was kind of shticky, but he was scolded by Steven Tyler about not being serious. So he came out this week and he got real serious. He did a song called A Song for You by Donny Hathaway, and Steven commended him, saying, you really turned it around, man. And Randy said, you came back tonight. He says, you're back in the game. And well, he was back in it for about 24 hours and he got sent home tonight. And he did a nice job last night, but he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's got to sing these slow ballads or else it's nothing for him. And I personally, even though he's a good singer, he's got a lot of talent, I thought he should have been gone 2 weeks ago. I didn't think it was right that he stuck around when Erica Van Pelt got sent home and Shannon McGrain. But he is gone now, and now we're down to the final 8, and it's going to be tough from here on out. Next up was Holly Cavanaugh. Holly, she's that real little tiny thing. She's probably about 4'10". I don't know for sure how tall she is. She wears like 6-inch heels to kind of get herself up there a little bit. And she always sings these really big ballads. She sings Whitney and Celine and she's got this huge voice and everything. But up until this week, I felt, with her, what was lacking, it never worked for me. I thought she would be gone by now because it's just a function of hitting the notes and it was lacking passion. Well, when she got into her mentoring session with Jimmy Iovine and Stevie Nicks, Stevie Nicks got to this girl. She started talking about her, Stevie Nicks' mother evidently just must have died in the last couple of months. She started talking about that. The song that she chose was, Jesus Take the Wheel by Carrie Underwood. And if you ever heard Carrie Underwood do that song, it is amazing. And Carrie Underwood is just ridiculous. And Stevie Nicks really got through to her about it's got to have passion. You've got to connect to the lyrics. You've got to feel the song. You've got to make everybody feel it. And she came out there, and I will tell you, this was the first week for me that I really connected with this girl. This girl got connected to the lyrics. It was definitely influenced by Stevie Nicks that got through to her. It was incredible mentoring. And it may not have been her most, flawless singing performance as far as hitting the notes, but it was her best performance for me by a mile. And, she showed some great potential. She's very young. And Randy, he kind of didn't want to give her the props. He said it was okay, but, he says, you shouldn't come out here and do Carrie Underwood because everybody's thinking about Carrie and, how can you take on Carrie? But then Jennifer said, I have to disagree with you, Randy. To me, this was your best performance because you really connected to the lyrics. And it was so true. Jennifer was right on the money. And Stephen was really somewhere in the middle. So I thought it was her best, if not technically her best. I just thought it was her best performance overall. And then tonight, she was in the bottom 3. So she's got a, and to me, that was the most interesting development of this week. Not that Hee-Jun got sent home. That, to me, was expected. But the big development was the last few weeks, it has been Elise Testone that was in the bottom 3, and this girl was considered a front runner. Well, now the switch tonight was, even though she had a passionate performance last night, Elise Testone really had a big number. She did great. Now this girl's in the bottom 3, so the girls have kind of traded places, and that's where you got to look now. It looks like Elise is on the rise. Next up was DeAndre, and I don't know what it is about this kid. I think he's just got tremendous talent, but once again, he was in the bottom 3 tonight. He did Sometimes I Cry by Eric Benet. He sang in that high falsetto that he has that kind of reminds me of Aaron Neville. I haven't heard them make that comparison yet. I don't know why, but that's what he is all about, and he came out and he said he's going to be himself, and that's what he did, and all the judges loved it, and Jennifer even loved it so much, Jennifer Lopez, that when it was her turn to make her comments on the judging, she was begging the people at home to call in and vote for DeAndre. She says, please vote for DeAndre. I want to see him sing some more. And she was actually begging the viewers to vote for him. So anyway, he was in the bottom 3 tonight, so he's definitely going to be in danger coming up. And then, of course, next up was my girl, Jessica Sanchez, and I don't know how she is not going to win this thing. I know Joshua is very talented, and so is Philip Phillips and Elise, but this girl's a star. And last night she chose chose Sweet Dreams by Beyoncé, which to me was kind of disappointing to learn that she's such a Beyoncé fan. I know everybody loves Beyoncé. I'm just not a big Beyoncé fan, believe it or not. But that was disappointing for me. But nevertheless, what she did is she made the song her own by slowing it way down. And I think Stevie Nicks really loved this girl. You saw their video clip of the mentoring session, and she gave her a suggestion, and Jessica took to it immediately. And there seemed to be a good connection between Jessica and Stevie Nicks, and the judges, of course, loved it. And for me, this was my performance of the night. And I think we should show it right now, guys. Why don't we do that? Maddie, let's check it out.
Every night I rush to my bed with hopes that maybe I'll get a chance to see you. When I close my eyes, I'm going out of my head, lost in the fairy tale. Can you hold my hand and be my guide? Clouds filled with stars cover your skies, and I hope it rains. You're the perfect lullaby. What kind of dream is this? Sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare? Either way, I don't wanna wake up from your sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Somebody pinch me. Your love's so good to be true. My guilty pleasure, I ain't going nowhere. Baby, long as you're here, I'll be floating on air. 'Cause you're mine, or a beautiful nightmare. Either way, I don't wanna wake up from you. Whoa, whoa.
You know, I think if I was Beyonce, I was home, I heard that, I'd be like, I got to do that in my next concert. Slow that one down.
Exactly.
It was a really, really beautiful rendition of it. Really gorgeous, and you did a beautiful job on it. You know, there was a part in there where you, everybody thought you were going to go like sing on forever, and you didn't. And I love that because it felt like I wanted more. You left all of us wanting more, and that's what great performers do. They leave you wanting more. That's what you did. Great job.
Yeah, I thought that too. Great performance, beautiful dress. I think you're a star no matter what.
Yeah.
From the way, obviously, the way you've sang on your in the past, but you did it again tonight, and I liked how you held it back a little bit, and you really know your notes. And I love this show because it pushes you guys to your limits. And you were not quite there tonight to your limit, because I know you still got some more great in you, but it was delicious. It was beautiful. Wonderful.
Best choice. Listen, I say it all the time, and I don't know if people believe me or whatever, but stars are truly born, right? The maturity that you have as a singer at this age, just even what you were doing in the verse, you did a thing, I was looking at Jennifer, I was like, yo, what do you learn that? What do you do that? You just innately have this unbelievable talent. I look forward to hearing you every night. I think you're one of the best singers I've heard in many a year. And I love the resolve that you use with turning that song into a ballad and slowing it down, and the resolve you use not to go there with the big notes every week, because you've done that and we know you can do that, but you told a beautiful story in a beautiful way. Unbelievable, sensational. Colton threw down a gauntlet. Colton, this girl wants it too. She wants it.
Beautiful place she's got here.
Well, like I said, to me, Jessica Sanchez isn't going to be a star if she's not one already. That girl's only 16 years old, and she's just incredible. Next up, of course, was Philip Phillips, and of course, the judges have been raving about him. And I will say that he's starting to get to me too now. He's very soulful, and I think Stevie Nicks paid him the ultimate compliment. Really, she said that she was really taken with him, and she said, if you would have been alive back then when they had Fleetwood Mac, they would have asked you to join the group, and he would have been a member of Fleetwood Mac. So, I mean, a huge compliment coming from Stevie Nicks. So, I mean, this kid could be a threat. It's just, it's a very soulful, folky kind of style, kind of a Dave Matthews Band kind of style. And, Steven went crazy saying that you make every song you sing, you make it your own. So, again, a solid week for Philip Phillips. Next up was Joshua Ledet. And, I mean, what can you say about this guy? I mean, to me, he is the flip side to Jessica on the men's side. He's just so gifted and so talented. It's ridiculous. He sang Without You, Mariah Carey. He said that was his idol, was Mariah Carey. And, he put his flavor on that really big song, Without You. And he let it rip. And then he kind of got, all caught up in the emotions at the end a little bit. And he's the one who puts that kind of gospel twist. I think he's from Louisiana, if I remember correctly. And Stephen even thanked him for pouring his heart out, for them to hear him sing. And Jennifer said, she said, you're an angel from heaven, So this guy's huge. I just don't know if he has the fan base. He's, like I say, he's a little bit, churchy, which is not a bad thing. But usually on these shows, it's more of a pop idol kind of a thing. But boy, is this guy talented. And then finally, in what they call the pimp spot for the week, it was one of my favorites, Elise Testone. I like this girl mainly because she's the oldest one in the group. I think she's up around 26, 27 now. And she's definitely got a unique style. And they said she's going to come back, she's going to sing a Led Zeppelin song. And I'm thinking, a Led Zeppelin? Are you kidding me? So the first thing I thought was, it's got to be Stairway to Heaven. What other song that Led Zeppelin does is this girl going to be able to pull off, And anyway, they came back and said she's going to sing a Whole Lot of Love. And I thought, oh my God, are you kidding me? How is she going to do a Whole Lot of Love? But she pulled it off, and it was pretty amazing. And she had a huge connection with Stevie Nicks. Stevie Nicks said that they were a kindred spirit, and they even grabbed mics and they started singing the Stevie Nicks song together, harmonizing. And Stevie Nicks said, if I needed a singer, I would hire you in a second, And there was real love between these two girls. And she has kind of a similar style voice, maybe a little more raspy than Stevie Nicks. But she did Whole Lot of Love, and she was dressed like Steven Tyler. She had on Steven Tyler pants and everything. Let's take a quick peek at just a little bit of Elise Testone doing Whole Lot of Love. Well, there it was. Again, a big surprise. I was surprised that she did that as well as she did. I really was. But, I mean, what's next? Jethro Tull? Anyway, so that was it. Heejun went home. We're into the top 8. And I'll tell you what, it's really heating up now. So that's it for the live, the singing competitions. And now we're going to go to our classic film zone. It looks like we're getting Barbie on the line here. I think now's the time of the day. Let's do it. Let's go to the classic film zone. Hey, Barbie. Welcome in. Hey, Barbie.
Hi. Can you hear me? I love the new screen.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. This is exciting. This is a big night.
Hey, that's what we do here, Barbie. That's what we do. So,
wow. I mean, this is so great. It's just a new world for me.
Yeah, I know that must be painful for you as you're waiting for me to go through my guilty pleasures with American Idol and The Voice, because I know you hate these shows.
Well, yes, and I don't even think that word is too strong.
I know.
But, yeah, I just caught the tail end of that. I was reading, or I was actually watching the Frank Capra Jr. interview. That was very good.
Oh, so it did make it, huh?
Yeah, that was wonderful. And I was also in the studio all day myself recording a new CD. So I'm a little bit...
You know, I think I saw something on your Facebook page about that. Tell us about it. What's going on?
Well, it's a new CD, and it's for a label called Stomp Off Records, and I've recorded a few different CDs for them. The man who is the producer of these, for some reason, has a thing about many, many different songs on one record. It's like he buys music by the yard. And that's fine. He's an aficionado of the 20s and the 30s, and he's trying to keep the music alive, but he wants us to just record so many songs in a very short amount of time. So in 2 days, we recorded 23 songs.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of exhausted.
What kind of songs are we talking about here? Is it from the 20s? Are we going into, give us an idea?
Yeah, 20s and 30s. Some are a little bit known. Others are pretty obscure. We're doing a lot of double entendre songs and sort of, Bessie Smith, early stuff. But then some songs you might know. Johnny Green, Easy Come, Easy Go, Here We Are. And Glad Rag Doll. I don't know, really old songs, but great songs that shouldn't be lost. That's all I
see.
can say.
And where can we buy this CD?
Well, eventually you'll be able to buy it on my website.
Okay.
There'll be places online to buy it. I'm not sure what the distribution will be yet. Hopefully good.
Well, you'll let us know.
Yeah, I definitely will let you know.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. And then that way, when we introduce you, I can play one of your songs, you see?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Yeah, I love your singing voice.
I should get you some right away.
Yeah, well, I can pay for one. It's okay.
Thank you.
Anyway, so what are we doing tonight? I know what we're doing.
We're doing my favorite movie, and I say that every week, but this is truly my favorite movie. And every guy that I've ever dated, this is sort of the litmus test. He has to see this film. So it's called It Happened One Night. It's from 1934. It's very early. It's my favorite time period. Mm-hmm. It's Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable, and it won 5 Academy Awards that year.
And they were the big 5, weren't they?
The big 5. I should have said this immediately. It's directed by Frank Capra. So it was Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, and Best Screenplay.
Wow. And the funny thing about that...
We should have showed this... We should have shown this for Oscar week. I mean, this would have been the one. I don't know why we didn't do that.
What did we show on Oscar week? I can't remember.
I think it was West Side Story.
Might have been. I can't remember. We'd have to go back now and take a look. But anyway, on this particular one, what's odd about it in my research, because I vaguely remember it, but obviously I had to really brush up on it for this week and watch it again, and I enjoyed it more this time for sure. But I did a little research, and what's odd about it, winning all these Oscars and everything, it seems as though nobody really wanted to do this movie but Frank Capra, the director. I mean, they had other actresses they were going to go to. Claudette Colbert didn't even want to do it.
I know. Loretta Young, Constance Bennett, a whole bunch of people were offered it. No one wanted it. I don't understand.
And I think Claudette Colbert was quoted after she got done wrapping the picture saying, "I just finished making the worst picture of my life." But she agreed to do it because they were paying her double and they guaranteed they'd be done in less than a month, right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy when you think about that now? You never know.
And then she won an Oscar for it.
Yeah, but then she came back and said, after she got the award, that it was all because of Frank Capra. At least she gave him credit.
Okay, where are you going to take us now with this movie?
Well, let me set it up a little bit by saying...
Oh, okay. Looks like we lost Barbie's connection. We'll get it back. So do what you can to get it back. And while we're getting Barbie back on the phone, maybe what we could do, Maddie, is we could show a few pictures from the movie without going to video clips. We'll wait for Barbie to do that. We seem like we always have this this issue when we deal with Barbie. We got to get that video, that internet connection better up there on the Upper West Side. But here's a few pictures here. And, Clark Gable, Claudette Colbert, and of course, Clark Gable was actually on loan from MGM for this movie. And so because of that, he's actually seen in a different light in this movie than he was in any other movie. I see we've got Barbie back on the line. was just running through some pictures till we could get you back, Barbie. But what I was saying is we were looking at this picture of Clark Gable and Claudette Colbert, was that Clark Gable was on loan for this picture from MGM, and because of that, we see him in a little different light than we're used to.
Right, we see him as a hard-drinking, kind of down on his luck person.
Right, which we never see him that way before.
No, he was normally the big leading man, and this must have been fun for him because he really was a good actor.
Oh, absolutely. He was incredible. I loved him in this movie. That classic voice of his, the way that all the people who impersonate him, is so evident in this movie.
He was from Ohio, another Ohioan.
Wow, we got to keep just looking for more people from Ohio for you.
I know, I love that. But we usually get out of there. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it is a good place to be from.
So let's go ahead and see if we can set this up now without losing the connection this time.
Okay, so she's a spoiled rich girl. She has recently eloped. Her name in the picture is Ellie Anderson, and she's having a thing with her father. Her father does not want her to have married the man she's married. She's on board his yacht, and she escapes from the yacht, swims for it, and is about to make her way back to the man that she married, but who she has never really been able to go on the honeymoon with. The father took her away before she could be with this man. So now she's trying to make her way back to him. So in a way, it's a road picture. So she gets on a bus, and I think that's the first clip I would like to show is her on her way back from, I guess they're in Florida, and she's making her way back to Long Island, where she lives. And it's called Peter and Ellie Meet. Is that okay to play, Ronnie?
Absolutely. We got Maddie working the control boards with Ronnie instructing him tonight.
Okay, great.
We're training here. So we're going to go to number 2, fellas.
Make yourself comfortable with a pleasant pillow. Pillow, sir. 2 beds. 1,000 miles is a long trip. Make yourself comfortable with a pleasant pillow. Hey, driver. If you'll be good enough to move those newspapers, I'll have a seat. Hey, wait a minute! What do you think you're doing? Huh? The papers. What's the idea of throwing them out? Oh, the papers? It's a long story, my friend. I never did like the idea of sitting on newspapers. I did it once and all the headlines came over my white pants. On the level, it actually happened. Nobody bought a paper that day. They just followed me around over town and read the news over the seat of my pants. Oh, fresh guy, huh? What you need's a good sock on the nose. Now listen, partner. You may not like my nose, but I do. I always wear it out in the open, where if anybody wants to take a sock at it, they can do it. Oh, yeah? Now, that's a brilliant answer. Why didn't I think of it? Our conversation could have been over long ago. Oh, yeah? If you keep that up, we're not going to get anywhere. Oh, yeah? You got me. Yeah. Excuse me, lady, but that upon which you sit is mine.
I beg your pardon?
Now listen, I put up a stiff fight for that seat. So if it's just the same to you, scram.
Driver, are these seats reserved?
No, first come, first served.
Thank you.
Hey, driver, these seats accommodate 2 people, don't they? Well, maybe they do and maybe they don't. Thank you. Move over. This is a maybe they do. If you'd asked me real nice, I might put that bag up there for you. Next time you drop in, bring your folks.
Well, there they are. They met on the bus, and he's pretty schnockered there, Barbie.
I know, you gotta love him. I mean, it's really not like you usually see him. And you know what's great about this movie is the cast of character actors that are in it. That's a good scene with Ward Bond, who was in a lot of Frank Capra movies. I'm sure you remember him from It's a Wonderful Life. And he was in a lot of films that John Ford directed too. And the guy that plays her father, Walter Connolly, is amazing. It's just, you never see those kinds of character actors anymore. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like these films from the earlier times better, is that they were just, the depth of the cast, it's so amazing.
Now, when you say from It's a Wonderful Life, you're talking about the guy, the bus driver who goes, oh yeah. Was he the cop in Wonderful Life?
Yes.
Wow, I never knew the names, but now that you brought it up, I can see the connection.
Yeah, isn't that great? Very good, Larry.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm so impressed with your, classic film zone knowledge.
Well, I can't hang with you, Barbie, but I try.
No, and then we're going to show in a couple clips. We're going to show this other guy named Roscoe Carnes, and he plays this obnoxious guy named Shapley, and he's in so many early films. I think what I like about this film, and you just saw a good example of it, is that it's a real slice of life from the 30s. I mean, it's not affected. It's not, an overblown Busby Berkeley fabulous musical set. I mean, you're really... you're out in some great locations, and then they're on the bus, and which obviously is a set, but it's still the language and everything is so 1930s. I just love it.
Right, and this is obviously in the middle of the Depression too. Obviously, she's a rich kid, she's a very spoiled kid, but you can see evidence of the Depression here. Right?
Yeah, and
the
clothing
kid,
and everything.
Yeah, the kid that broke down on the bus crying because of his mom, and and when they stayed in that I guess motel or whatever, and people are taking showers outside, and people don't have 10 cents to spare. You could see evidence of it, and it's not just this movie. I think a lot of the old classic movies. It's one of the things I love about the movies too, Barbie, is you can really see what our country was like, our culture, just by watching these movies.
Yeah, I love that. I feel that you can really get into them and, step into them.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, we have a lot of clips to show. One of the other ones that I would like to show is when Peter Warren is Clark Gable's character's name. Mm-hmm. Peter takes over. It's where Claudette Colbert's character Ellie has a little tete-a-tete with Oscar Shapley on the bus.
Okay.
But by this point, he already knows. He's identified this millionairess, and he knows that he has a good story. And in a way, that's sort of like Roman Holiday.
Yeah, because he found her ticket on the bus. And then
found her ticket, and he knows she needs some help.
Yeah.
And he's so now he's going to kind of help her, but he certainly wants a story for it.
You got it.
This one is number 5.
We got it.
Thank you.
Hi, sister. All alone? My name's Shapley. Might as well get acquainted. It's going to be a long trip. Gets tiresome later on, especially for somebody like you. You look like you got class. Yes, sir, with a capital K. And I'm the guy that knows class when he sees it. Believe you me. Ask any of the boys, they'll tell you. Shapley sure knows how to pick 'em. Yes, sir. Shapley's the name, and that's the way I like 'em. You made no mistake sitting next to me. Just between us, the kind of mugs you meet on a hop like this ain't nothing to write home to the wife about. You gotta be awful careful who you hit it up with, is what I always say, and you can't be too particular neither. What's the matter, sister? You ain't saying much.
Seems to me you're doing excellently without any assistance.
That's pretty good. Seems to me you're doing excellently without any assistance. Well, shut my big nasty mouth. Looks like you're one up on me. You know, there's nothing I like better than to meet a high-class mama that can snap them back at you. Because the colder they are, the hotter they get. That's what I always say. Yes, sir. When a cold mama gets hot, boy, how she sizzles. Now, you're just my type. Believe me, sister, I could go for you in a big way. Fun on the side, shapely, they call me. With accent on the fun, believe you me.
Believe you me, you bore me to distraction.
Looks like you're two up on me now.
Hey, you.
Huh?
There's a seat over there for you.
What's the idea?
I'd like to sit next to my wife, if you don't mind.
Your wife?
Yeah. Come on, come on.
Oh, yeah, sure. Excuse me, you know. I was just, sure, excuse me, miss. I just trying to make things pleasant, you see. Excuse me, I mean anything, Doc. No offense, Doc. No.
If you promise not to snap my head off, I'd like to thank you.
Forget it. I didn't do it for you. His voice gets on my nerves. What'd you do all day?
Ran in and out of doorways, trying to keep out of the rain.
Clothes are all wet. Here. You're as helpless as a baby.
Thank you.
Here you are, folks. Cigars, cigarettes, chewing gum, candy, magazine.
Here, boy.
Yes, ma'am.
A box of chocolates, please.
Never mind, son. She doesn't want it.
Oh, but the lady said...
Of course I do. What do you mean?
Eat it.
Well, you've got your nerve. Here, boy.
$1.60. You had $4 last night. How do you expect to get to New York at the rate you're going?
That's none of your business.
You're on a budget from now on.
But just a minute.
Shut
you
up.
can't...
There we go.
Yeah, I love when he takes over, and I just want to say, when a cold mama gets hot, boy, how she sizzles.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so funny, isn't he?
Absolutely hysterical. I love the way he treats women, but in particular this woman, you know.
He's really barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah. And, you know, in my research, I saw something also that was kind of interesting, kind of surprising, actually. You know, I'm a big fan of animation art. I used to collect animation art, but I was really more on the Disney side of that. Of course, the other side is Warner Brothers. And of course, there's all these other studios like Fleischer and all that. But, you know, Warner Brothers was huge back then with the shorts of Bugs Bunny and all that. And Friz Freleng for Warner Brothers was one of the key lead animators. And he said that he based the character Bugs Bunny. Did you read this or did you see this?
Yeah, I saw this. I didn't know this.
He said
that was a great fact.
He said he got two key characteristics from Bugs Bunny from this movie. One was Bugs Bunny was kind of based on this character of Shapley, the one on the bus, the way his whole mannerism was very kind of annoying. Okay. And then the second part was later on, I know you're going to show the clip. We haven't talked about what we're going to show, but I know you and I know you're going to show the clip where Clark Gable is eating the carrot. You know, the way he's chomping on the carrot.
Oh, I wasn't going to show that. Okay, we should show that then.
Well,
I thought I really had to cut down.
Well,
so.
that's you weren't going to cut out the hitchhiking scene.
No, that's in the one before the hitchhiking. Oh, no, you're right. It's part of the hitchhiking
It's part
scene.
of the hitchhiking.
Okay, perfect.
It's part of the hitchhiking scene, and I know you're not cutting that. But but the way he chomps and eats the carrot, I guess Friz Freleng got the whole, that's the way Bugs Bunny was going to do it. And then the third thing was he had a character in the Warner Brothers shorts that kind of frightened I guess Bugs Bunny called Bugs Dooley, and he kind of based that on this movie as well. But anyway, very interesting.
I think
thought
that was really early on. I'd like to see some of those old Warner Brothers cartoons. I haven't seen those in a long time.
Yeah, I'm kind of into the Disney features more than the Warner Brothers cartoons, but I know there's a whole bunch of people that loved all those Warner Brothers characters.
Yes. Well, that's interesting. I never knew that until you mentioned that to me.
Okay.
Well, let's look. What are we looking at now? We're looking at the fact that they now that Peter has taken over, they have to make their way up the coast, and they're going to stay at a little motel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is one of the famous scenes. And I was reading that this is because during one of the takes, Claudette Colbert was very reluctant to reveal herself, and this was what gave Frank Capra the idea for the Walls of Jericho.
I'm so glad you're going to show this one, Barbie, because it is a little bit longer out there. So bear with us here. I think it's about 7 minutes. I thought Barbie may not want to show that one because it's so long, but you have to show this one because it's so pivotal to the whole thing, the Walls of Jericho.
Right.
All right.
Darn clever, these Armenians.
Yeah, it's a gift.
I just had the unpleasant sensation of hearing you referred to as my husband.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to tell you about that. I registered as Mr. and Mrs.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what am I expected to do? Leap for joy?
Well, I kind of half expected you to thank me.
Your ego is absolutely colossal.
Yeah, not bad. How's yours?
You know, compared to you, my friend Shapley's an amateur. Just whatever gave you any idea I'd stand for this?
Hey, now, wait a minute. Let's get this straightened out right now. If you're nursing any silly notion that I'm interested in you, forget it. You're just a headline to me.
A headline? You're not a newspaper man, are you?
Chalk up 1 for your side. Now, listen. You want to get to King Wesley, don't you? All right, I'm here to help you. What I want is your story. Exclusive. That day-to-day account. All about your mad flight to happiness. I need that story. Just between you and me, I've got to have it.
Well, isn't that just too cute? There's a brain behind that face of yours, isn't there? You've got everything nicely figured out for yourself, including this.
This? Well, that's a matter of simple mathematics. These cabins cost $2 a night. And I'm very sorry to inform you, wifey dear, that the family purse won't stand for our having separate establishment.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You've been very kind.
Oh, it's all right with me. Go on out in the storm. But I'm going to follow you, see? Yeah. And if you get tough, I'll just have to turn you over to your old man. Right now. Savvy? Now that's my whole plot in a nutshell. A simple story for simple people. If you behave yourself, I'll see that you get to King Wesley. If not, I'll just have to spill the beans to Papa. Now, which of these beds do you prefer? This one? All right.
That, I suppose, makes everything quite all right.
Well, this? Well, I like privacy when I retire. Yes, I'm very delicate in that respect. Prying eyes annoy me. Behold the walls of Jericho. Maybe not as thick as the ones that Joshua blew down with his trumpet, but a lot safer. You see, I have no trumpet. Now, just to show you my heart's in the right place, I'll give you my best pair of pajamas. Do you mind joining the Israelites? You don't want to join the Israelites? All right. Perhaps you're interested in how a man undresses. You know, there's a funny thing about that. Quite a study in psychology. No two men do it alike. You know, I once knew a man who kept his hat on until he was completely undressed. Yeah, now he made a picture. Years later, his secret came out. He wore a toupee. Yeah. No, I have a method all my own. If you'll notice, the coat came first, then the tie, then the shirt. Now, according to Hoyle, after that, the pants should be next. Here's where I'm different. I go for the shoes next. First the right, then the left. After that, it's every man for himself. Still with me, Brett? Ah, don't be a sucker. Good night's rest will do you a lot of good. Besides, you got nothing to worry about. The walls of Jericho will protect you from the big bad wolf. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf. She's afraid of the big bad wolf. Tra-la-la-la-la.
Would you mind, please, putting out the light?
No, not at all. We should take those things off the walls of Jericho.
Oh, excuse me. By the way, what's your name?
What's that?
Who are you?
Who, me? I'm the whippoorwill that cries in the night. I'm the soft morning breeze that caresses your lovely face.
You've got a name, haven't you?
Yeah, I got a name. Peter Warren.
Peter Warren. I don't like it.
Don't let it bother you. You were giving it back to me in the morning.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Warren.
The pleasure is all mine, Mrs. Warren.
It's she goes, I don't like it.
I know, it's so great.
I'm the whippoorwill.
I know, it's beautiful. He's a writer, so that's fitting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Beautiful scene.
The sarcasm is just it's awesome.
Yeah. I just again, what a slice of life from the 30s. And they're in that guest cabin, in where God only knows where, on their way up to New York.
They have no money. I mean, she was down to $1.60 or something like that. Her bag was stolen, and then
they're on a budget.
Right. Now, Barbie, you can see our screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us what we're looking at here. We have some pictures.
Okay.
Can you see this?
That's the director. Yep, that's Frank Capra. and I can't see what he's holding. It must be the script. I don't have my glasses on.
Mhm.
But then that's the two stars, Claudette Colbert and Clark Gable, and she's wearing the outfit that she wore in the famous hitchhiking scene.
Well,
the only suit that she has. I think she had 4 outfits for the entire film.
Right, and she wore this one predominantly throughout most of the whole movie, so very easy wardrobe.
Yeah. Okay, here's the famous hitchhiking scene where he thinks he really knows what to do, and she definitely proves him wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's so great because he's such a smart aleck. But he is supposed to be, wise and he's been on the road. That's just adorable. That's the carrots, isn't it?
Yeah, it's from that same hitchhiking scene where they're sitting on the fence. They're tired.
We should preface that.
What do you mean?
Because the scene before the hitchhiking scene we won't be showing, but it's where she admits to him that she's starving.
Right.
She's scared and starving, and he said she can't be both things at once or something like that. But he eventually comes up with some carrots that he finds just in a field, and she refuses to eat them. I
Yeah.
don't know why back then. I guess they didn't eat raw carrots, and he's munching away on them.
Right.
Finally, she gives in and has one because she's so starving. But that's the Bugs Bunny thing you're referring to.
Mm-hmm.
So there they are, and you were saying that there was some animosity between them. Is that right?
No, if there was, I certainly don't know that. I just didn't think anybody was all that anxious to do this movie. But one of the letdowns for me in this movie is that they never really, there's no on-screen kiss.
I agree. I mean, but maybe that's what keeps us coming back for more. We don't really feel quite satisfied. I'm not sure.
I mean, the night before the hitchhiking, when they're sleeping out in the field by the haystacks, he gets really close. He gets like within a half inch of her face, face to face, and you think they're going to kiss, and then he just, it doesn't happen. But
yeah, the sexual tension, it's very exciting.
And then at the end when they finally get together, and I guess they ran away together, whatever, they imply it, they're in the cabin, but you don't see it.
No, you just hear the bugle blow and the walls of Jericho come down.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clever because the audience isn't completely satisfied. They're just they want a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought they had great chemistry together.
It's from a story from the Cosmopolitan magazine that Frank Capra just happened to see while he was, at the dentist or something, and he liked the story, and he had Columbia buy the rights to it, knowing that eventually he would want to turn it into something more.
No, I really didn't know that.
It's from a story called Night Bus.
Okay, I vaguely remember that. In fact, now you're bringing it back to me. I think Claudette Colbert had said that she didn't want to do this movie because there was another movie before this one that was on a bus and it was a big bomb. So she was afraid to do another movie that was basically on a bus. Most of this movie is a bus trip from Florida to New York.
Right, that's some trip back in 1934 too.
Yeah.
But it's a road picture. It's a road picture, and it's also really the first screwball comedy. So it's pretty special.
Yeah. By the way, you're seeing our four-way split here, and in there we have our new graphic for Chillin' with Larry Megan. Can you see it?
I can see it. I like the color a lot,
Yeah.
and it fits with the word chillin'.
Yeah, we've got
Is that a cocktail shaker?
It is. It's got a martini glass, and you got ice cubes in the background, and
Very cool. I want a martini a lot. We should have had this for the Thin Man.
yeah. Well, we just got the graphic finished today.
Well, congratulations. It's lovely.
Yeah, it only took 2.5 months, but we got it done.
I like the font. I like the Larry Megan font.
Yeah, that's a special scripty kind of thing.
I'm fond of it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We went through about 10 different variations on the fonts. Believe me, I've got a whole book on fonts, and I drove our graphic artist crazy. His name is John. He did a wonderful job.
It's very sophisticated, Larry.
Well,
as are you.
Oh, Barbie, you're too sweet. Do you want me to mail you the pink slip to my car now?
Yes. Pink slip, daddy.
You can have it.
Yeah, I love that term. Hey, let's show Mr. and Mrs. Warren. We still have a couple more to do, don't we? Do we have time?
We have as much time as you want to go. Because listen, we'll get into this at the end, but I know you're not going to be with us for the next 2 weeks. So take as much time as you want tonight. It's all for you.
Okay, so let's show the scene after the Walls of Jericho evening where the media has now been alerted that this woman, Ellie Anderson, is missing, and her father is combing the United States for her, and some police officers are at their door looking for her, but they pretend that they're actually a married couple, and it's so cute. I love this. Mr. and Mrs. Warren, please, Ronnie.
You got it.
Donut.
Thanks. You think this whole business is silly, don't you? I mean, running away and everything.
No, it makes too good a story.
Yes, you do. You think I'm a fool and a spoiled brat. Perhaps I am, although I don't see how I can be. People who are spoiled are accustomed to having their own way. I never have. On the contrary, I've always been told what to do and how to do it and when and with whom. Would you believe it? This is the first time I've ever been alone with a man.
Yeah?
It's a wonder I'm not panic-stricken.
Mm-hmm. You're doing all right.
Thanks. Yeah, nurses, governesses, chaperones, even bodyguards. Oh, it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, one consolation, you can never get lonesome.
It has its moments. It's become a sort of game tried out with father's detectives. I did once. Actually went shopping without a bodyguard. Oh, swell. I felt absolutely immoral. But it didn't last long. They caught up with me in a department store. I was so mad, I ran out the back way and jumped into the first car I saw. Guess who was in it?
Santa Claus. Gandhi.
King Westley was in it.
That's right. Is that how you met him?
Mm-hmm. We rode around all afternoon. Father was frantic. By 6 o'clock, he was having all the rivers dragged.
Say, where'd you learn to dunk? In finishing school?
Oh, now don't you start telling me I shouldn't dunk.
Of course you shouldn't. You don't know how to do it. Dunking's an art. Don't let it soak so long. A dip and drop in your mouth. You gotta hang there too long and get soft and fall off. It's all a matter of timing. Oh, I'll write a book about it.
Thanks, Professor.
This goes to show you. 20 millions and you don't know how to dunk.
I'd change places with a plumber's daughter any day.
How do I know who you are? I never saw you before. You can't go around bothering my tenants. I tell you, there's no girl by that name here. Besides, how do I know you're a detective?
Show him your credentials, Mac.
Detectives. Oh, that's Father at work. Peter, what'll I do? What'll I do? Maybe I can jump out of the window. They won't see me.
Here, sit down. Get yourself all mussed up. Get your hair down over your eyes and get your dress fastened here. Come on.
Yeah, I got a letter from Aunt Bella last week. She says if we don't stop over in Wilkes-Barre, she'll never forgive us.
What are you talking about?
The baby's due next month. They want us to come. Oh, yeah. She saw your sister on the street the other day. Says she's looking swell.
Come in.
You know, I hope Aunt Bella has a boy, don't you? Grandma says it's going to be a girl, though, and she hasn't missed calling one in years.
Man here to see you, sweetheart.
Who, me? You want to see me?
What's your name?
Are you addressing me?
Yeah, what's your name?
Hey, wait a minute. That's my wife you're talking to. What do you mean, coming here? What do you want, anyway?
We're looking for somebody.
Yeah, well, look your head off, but don't come busting in here. This isn't a public park. I got nerves to take a sock at you.
Take it easy, son. Take it easy. These men are detectives, Mr. Moore.
I don't care if they're the whole police department. They can't come busting in here shooting questions of my wife.
Now, don't get so excited, Peter. The man just asked you a civil question.
Oh, is that so? Say, how many times have I told you to stop butting in when I'm having an argument?
Well, you don't have to lose your temper.
You don't have to lose your temper. That's what you said the other time, too. Every time I tried to protect you. The other night at the Elks dance, when that big Swede made a pass at you.
He didn't make a pass at me. I told you a million times.
Oh, no, I saw him. Kept pawing you all over the dance floor.
He didn't. You were drunk.
Ah, nuts! You're just like your old man. Once a plumber's daughter, always a plumber's daughter. Then an ounce of brains in your whole family.
Oh, Peter, while you've got far enough, I won't stand here.
Ah, shut up.
Now, you see what you've done?
Sorry, Mr. Warren, but you see, we've got to check up on everybody.
We're looking for a girl by the name of Ellen Andrews. You know, the daughter of that big Wall Street mug.
Yeah, well, it's too bad you're looking for a plumber's daughter. Quick, baller! Quick, baller!
I told you they were a perfectly nice married couple.
You weren't bad jumping in like that. You've got a brain, haven't you?
Oh, well, you're not so bad yourself.
We could start a two-people stock company. Things get tough, we'll play the small-town auditorium. We'll call this one the Great Deception.
Oh, what about Cinderella or a real hot love story?
Oh, no, that's too mushy.
Oh, I like mushy stuff.
Quit balling! Quit balling! You're just like
in 5 minutes.
What?
Your bus leaves in 5 minutes.
Oh, holy smoke, we're not even packed yet.
Oh, he's so cute in that.
Yeah, he really is great in that. And she is fantastic, too. You know who he reminded me of? It never occurred to me until just watching it right now. For whatever reason, it kind of made me think of Cary Grant. And I never thought of Clark Gable in that way before.
Wow. You mean like early Cary Grant, when he's more physical, when the comedy's maybe more physical?
I don't know so much about early. It seems to me like Cary Grant was always funny. I mean, early and later. But, Gable is always so sophisticated and debonair and everything. Not willing to, I could see Cary Grant playing this role too,
Really? Oh, wow. They're two of my big favorites. I don't think it gets any better. Well, I like Jimmy Stewart too, but yeah, you're right. And Cary Grant was very, very funny, especially in some of those early films.
I thought about it when he was doing that bit about, dunking the donuts. To me, I could see Cary Grant doing that whole thing with, didn't anybody ever teach you how to dunk?
I know. So cute. And then the scene progresses and they start to like each other, which is, I think, one of the turning points is he realizes she really is a pretty great person.
And she realized that he's really helping her because he basically just hid her from, not the cops, but the detectives that were hired by her father to find her.
I was watching that thing about Frank Capra Jr. and he made a really valid point, which I've noticed myself just from doing, a little bit of TV and commercials and extra work and things. And you don't really ever know what the director or how it's going to end up as an actor. You don't have the same vision, obviously, that the director does. That's a one-person thing, how he really thinks the end product will come out. So I don't think they realized, and she certainly didn't realize, what a great picture it was. She had no idea what he was. You see the dailies or whatever, and they had no concept what a wonderful film this would be.
Yeah. But it's how many times do we do movies and we do these exposés or whatever they are and reviews, and we read about how it wasn't supposed to be this actor or not that actress. They offered it to this one and it just worked out where it was this way. But it seems like that happens a lot. And, this was offered to Myrna Loy. And you and I both love Myrna Loy. I love Myrna Loy. Mr. Blanding's Dream House with Cary Grant, of course, with The Thin Man, with William Powell and all that stuff. We love Myrna Loy, but I don't know. Claudette Colbert is perfect for this, and Gable on loan. Everything just clicked.
I know. There's a chemistry with the whole movie. It's it's almost like fate when those things come together. I agree.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
she's so delicate in it. She's so small, and she looks like she really does need to be taken care of. I think that's part of the charm of her in this.
Yeah, and we said earlier how these old movies, it's a glimpse into our society, 80 years ago. It's not only a few more years. This is going to be 100 years old, this picture. It's only 22 more years. But almost 80 years ago, and some of this is kind of like politically incorrect these days in the sense of, the way he tells her to just shut up, he barely met her and he tells her, just shut up, and then she shuts up right away, and he immediately takes over her finances for her. He tells the person on the bus, never mind, keep moving. And she basically won't let her spend her money on the candy. And that would never happen today,
No. And I guess that's a good thing.
Men took charge in those days, and the women liked it that way. In 50 years, we'll all be chicks. It's not the same anymore.
I know. I'm not sure what anyone actually does want, really, anymore. It's so mixed up. That's a whole nother show, Larry.
I know. Okay, Barbie.
Let's do Hitchin' a Ride. I mean, the famous scene. And can I do a spoiler alert?
Of course.
I mean, everybody that's watching this, I'm sure, has seen this film or knows about this scene where she exposes her leg to get a ride. And she didn't want to do this. And then she saw the body double's leg that they were using. And she wasn't happy with it. And she said, that doesn't look anything like my leg. I can't have that representing me. And then she decided to do it herself.
I know. And, to me, the disappointing thing is that it's not even, I mean, yeah, it's her leg, but she's got like hose, pantyhose. I mean, it's all covered up practically, but.
I know. Compared to what we deal with today, it's really not that, yeah, it's amazing.
All right.
It's amazing.
It's
enough to get him a ride, though.
That's right. Hitching a ride.
What did you say we're supposed to be doing?
Hitchhiking.
Oh. Well, you've given me a very good example of the hiking. Where does the hitching come in?
A little early yet. No cars out.
Well, if it's just the same to you, I'm going to sit right here and wait till they come. Oh. You got a toothpick?
What's the matter?
A hay in my teeth.
No, I haven't got a toothpick. Here, I got a penknife, though.
Oh.
You have to hold still, though.
Oh, be careful.
All right. Where is it?
In the middle.
The middle? All right, now hold still. Hold still. All right. There. Get it?
Thanks.
Hey, you should have swallowed that. You're not going to have any breakfast, you know.
You needn't rub it in. What are you eating?
Carrots?
Raw?
Mm-hmm. What?
Oh, no. Why didn't you get me something I could eat?
Oh, that's right. I forgot. The idea of offering a raw carrot to an Andrew. Hey, you don't think I'm going around panhandling for you, do you? You better have one of these. Best thing in the world for you, carrots.
I hate the hard things.
I wish you wouldn't talk so much. I would let a car get away.
So suppose nobody stops for us, huh?
They'll stop, all right. It's all a matter of knowing how to hail them.
Oh, and you're an expert, I suppose.
Expert? I'm going to write a book about it. Call it The Hitchhiker's Hail.
There's no end to your accomplishments, isn't there?
Well, you think it's simple, huh?
No.
Well, it is simple. It's all in that old thumb, see? Yeah. Now, some people do it like this. Or like this. All wrong. Never get anywhere.
Oh, the poor thing.
Yeah, boy, but that old thumb never failed. It's all a matter of how you do it, though. Now, you take number one, for instance. That's a short, jerky movement like this. That shows independence. You don't care whether they stop or not. You got money in your pocket, see?
Clever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but number two, that's a little wider movement. Smile goes with this one like this. That means you got a brand new story about the farmer's daughter.
You figured that out all by yourself, huh?
Nah, that's nothing. Yeah, number three, that's a pip. Yeah, that's the pitiful one. You know, when you're broke and hungry and everything looks black. It's a long, sweeping movement like this. Gotta follow through, though.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, but it's no good, though, if you haven't got a long face to go with it.
Here comes the car.
Okay, now watch me. I'm gonna use number one. Keep your eye on that thumb, baby, and see what happens.
I stood up my eye on the thumb.
Something must have gone wrong.
Oh.
Try number two.
When you get to 100, wake me up.
I don't think I'll write that book after all.
Yeah, think of all the fun you had, though. you mind if I try?
You? Don't make me laugh.
Oh, you're such a smart Alec. Nobody knows anything but you. I'll stop a car, and I won't use my thumb.
What are you going to do?
It's a system all my own. Aren't you going to give me a little credit?
What for?
Well, I've proved once and for all that the limb is mightier than the thumb.
Why don't you take off all your clothes? You're going to stop 40 cars.
Well, oh, I'll remember that when we need 40 cars.
Yeah, that he was great in that scene.
Oh, he was hilarious. I was laughing out loud, and she's hilarious too. And the dialogue is wonderful.
Yeah, and you could really see that where I mentioned Friz Freleng said, you know, the whole Bugs Bunny character, when he's chewing on that carrot, it's hard to believe it, you know, came from this movie, but it did. You know, it's amazing.
Well, I guess just crazy things inspire people.
The chomping on the carrots. He's like Bugs Bunny in this movie.
You know, and he does sound, and the Shapley character is supposed to, is it supposed to have sounded like his voice, or what's the story with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was inspired by the Shapley character as far as the, you know, annoying, you know, personality, but the chewing on the carrots and the fast talking of Gable while he's chewing on the carrots.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. And I really now want to watch more Bugs Bunny and see what that's about again. I haven't seen it for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can we watch 2 more, or do we only have time for 1 more?
We have time for this is it for, you know, whatever you want. It's your show, Barbie.
You have to do Judy, though. I don't want you to miss out on Judy.
We're going to do Judy. Don't worry. Judy's good. You know what? By the way, you know what I'm going to show tonight for Judy?
What?
You know, in 1963 or 64, I think it was 63, she went over to London and played at the Palladium, and she sang Hello, Dolly with her daughter, Liza.
Oh.
So we're going to show that duet with Judy and Liza Minnelli singing Hello, Dolly.
Oh, I've been to that theater years ago.
Okay.
That'll be wonderful. And I'm a big Liza fan too. So that'll be fun.
Yep.
Let's show A Matter of Principle so you can see Ellen's father and the talk that he has with Clark Gable after they finally get back. And I love this character actor, Walter Connolly.
Yeah, and this is after, I guess there was a misunderstanding or a miscommunication. She thought that he ran out on her, but he really was just going to basically get money to come back and marry her and run away with her, you know, because she said she would go with him. And then her father's detectives found her when he was gone, and she figured he ran out on him. So, you know, it went for a period of time before they, you know, realized what happened.
No, and you always want that. I've seen this so many times. You know, I don't remember how I felt the first time that I saw it, but, you know, you so much wanted that to work out. And he was so happy when he left that day because he finally realized he loved her and he was going to go back and make this all work out. And then he got back or he sees her. Their cars cross as he's going back to get her. She's leaving.
But, you know, the one thing that doesn't make sense to me is this. You know, when they stayed in that hotel the night before, he said, we can make New York in 3 hours. So they were somewhere probably down in Jersey or Philly or, you know, going up the coast.
Tom's River, New Jersey.
Tom's River, New Jersey, which now from Tom's River, New Jersey to New York, you can now make that in like, you know, an hour. But back then, you know, okay, he says we can make New York in 3 hours. And she didn't really want to go back because at that point she read the newspaper that her father had already decided that he'll accept her marriage to that King Wesley or whatever. So she says, no, let's spend the night. So they're spending the night. She says that she wants to go on the trip. She throws herself at him, you know, and then he realizes that he wants to do it. He gets up at, who knows, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever, 3 in the morning. He decides he's going to run to New York, meet with his publisher, give him the story, get the cash, come back down there, and then run away with her. But he's going to drive up without telling her? I mean, why? He could have taken her with him. I mean, I know it's the script. It's only a movie.
I know. It's very frustrating, Larry. That's not the way you would have done it.
But you're going to drive 3 hours up to New York and then 3 hours back while she's sleeping?
I know. Well, he's a romantic.
And then
he wanted it to be a complete surprise.
And then she wakes up while he's gone, and the detectives come and they take her away, and she thought he ran out, or the hotel operator came in and threw her out. Anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess it's the star-crossed lover thing, and they just had one more thing to surmount.
Yeah, well, this is one of the things. I mean, we love these old movies, both of us, Barbie. But, nowadays, these kinds of things just can't go unexplained in the movies. Back then, it was a movie, and a lot of these things are unexplained,
Right. It just doesn't quite seem to make sense. But we suspend our disbelief because
we do.
We care so much about the characters.
We do, Barbie. We do.
Here we have a matter of principle, Ronnie.
Mr. Warren?
Yeah.
Yes, sit down.
Thanks.
I was surprised to get your note. My daughter hadn't told me anything about your helping her.
That's typical of your daughter. Take those things for granted. Why didn't you think I lugged her all the way from Miami for the love of it?
She thinks you're entitled to anything you can get.
Oh, she does, eh? Now, isn't that sweet of her? You don't, I suppose.
I don't know. I'll have to see on what you base your claim. I presume you feel justified.
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. I got it all itemized.
Cash outlay, $8.60. Top coat, $15. Suitcase, $7.50. Hat, $4. 3 shirts, $4.50. Total, $39.60. All the above items had to be sold to buy gasoline.
And I sold some shorts and socks, too. I'm throwing those in.
Yes, I know.
What's the matter? Isn't it cheap enough? A trip like that would cost you $1,000, maybe more.
Now, let me get this straight. You want $39.60 in addition to the $10,000.
What, 10,000?
The reward.
Who said anything about a reward?
I'm afraid I'm a little bit confused. I assume that
Look. All I want is $39.60. And if you give me a check for it, I'll get out of this joint. It gives me the jitters.
You're a peculiar chap.
Yeah, we'll go into that some other time.
The average man would go after the reward. All you seem to be...
Listen, did anybody ever make a sucker out of you? This is a matter of principle. Something you probably wouldn't understand. But when anybody takes me for a buggy ride, I don't like the idea of having to pay for the privilege.
Were you taken for a buggy ride?
Yes, with all the trimmings. So how about the check? Do I get it?
Certainly.
Thanks.
There you are.
Thank you.
Oh, do you mind if I ask you a question, frankly? Do you love my daughter?
Any guy that had fallen in love with your daughter ought to have his head examined.
Now, that's an evasion.
She picked herself a perfect running mate, King Wesley, the pill of the century. What she needs is a guy that'd take a sock at her once a day, whether it's coming to her or not. If you had half the brains you're supposed to have, you'd have done it yourself long ago.
Do you love her?
A normal human being couldn't live under the same roof with her without going nutty. She's my idea of nothing.
I asked you a simple question. Do you love her?
Yes! But don't hold that against me. I'm a little screwy myself.
Well, here's to the merry-go-round.
Perfect. Now you look natural.
I hope you got your money.
You bet I did.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Same to you.
Stay around and watch the fun. You'll enjoy it immensely.
I would, but I've got a weak stomach.
I just had a long talk with him.
I'm not interested.
Now, just a minute, Ellie.
I don't want to hear another word about him.
Well, when right now we got Barbie back. Okay, good.
I'm back.
Yeah, you froze up for a second there, but she says, "Did you get your money?" So in her mind, she thinks he came and got a $10,000 reward. He just wanted to get reimbursed for the $39 he laid out. So she thinks that he was only into it for the money.
Well, this is going to be another situation where he's walking her down the aisle, like in CoverGirl. We keep having these movies that have little parallel things, and the father will finally tell her what the real story is, and then she'll make her decision.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go, Ronnie.
Okay.
Here they come, boys. Turn them over.
You're a sucker to go through with this. That guy Warren is okay. He didn't want the reward. All he asked for was $39.60, what he spent on you. Said it was a matter of principle. You took him for a ride. He loves you, Ellie. He told me so. You don't want to be married to a mug like Wesley. I can buy him off for a pot of gold. And you can make an old man happy. And you won't do so bad for yourself. If you change your mind, your car's waiting at that gate.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered together here in the sight of God and in the face of this company to join together this man and this woman in holy matrimony. If any man can show just cause why they may not lawfully be joined together, let him now speak, or else hereafter forever hold his peace. King, wilt thou have this woman to thy wedded wife, so long as ye both shall live?
I will.
Helen, wilt thou have this man to thy wedded husband, so long as ye both shall live?
What happened? I haven't the slightest idea. Don't want to talk to it. Don't want to talk to anybody. Don't want to see anybody.
But it's King Wesley on the phone.
Oh. Hello, my would-be ex-son-in-law. I've sent you a check for 100,000. That's the smartest thing you ever did, Wesley, not to contest that annulment. That's satisfactory, isn't it? Well, it ought to be. Oh, I'm not complaining. Oh, no, not complaining. It was dirt cheap. Don't fall out of any windows.
There's another wire from Peter. They're in Glen Falls, Michigan.
What's holding up the annulment, you slowpoke? The walls of Jericho are toppling. Send him a telegram right away. Just say, let him topple.
Funny couple, ain't they?
Yeah,
If you ask me, I don't believe they're married.
they married all right. I just seen the license.
They made me get 'em a rope and a blanket on a night like this. What do you reckon that's for?
Let him fine, though. I just brung them a trumpet.
A trumpet?
Yeah, one of them toy things they sent me to the store to get it.
Well, what in the world do they want a trumpet for?
Dunno.
Hey, Barbie. Okay, it looks like Barbie froze up just when we cut to her. All right, she's back or no? God.
I'm here.
Okay. Right when it ended, the little screen thing came up and froze, but we're back, Barbie.
Yep. I love the end. I see what you mean. It would be very fulfilling to have them kiss, but I like how clever the ending is. It's adorable.
Yeah, it really is. They get together and they live happily ever after. You know, I was thinking about it as we were watching. You know, you mentioned CoverGirl, how Rita Hayworth runs away, you know, at the altar and leaves, and now we're doing this one. But also, very similar, we did the Philadelphia story where she doesn't, like, you know, run away at the altar, but minutes before the wedding, they blow it off, and then she marries a different guy. So that's 3 movies in the last, 5 weeks or so.
Yeah.
Where we've had a similar, you know, they live happily ever after, you know.
That is funny. I guess the moral of the story is don't go through with your wedding.
Or don't count your chicken, you know, your eggs before they hatch. But listen, tell us before we say goodbye, Barbie. I know you're going to, you know, overseas. What's happening with you? We're not going to see you for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of weeks I'll be gone, and then I'll be back before I get on the riverboat with the Harry James Band. And maybe we can even I think I'll be able to broadcast as soon as I get off the boat that night. I'll be going to my mom's house in Ohio. We get off the boat near Cincinnati, so I'll see you then. But I'll have one more time with you before that. I'm not sure what we're going to do. We'll talk later this week, right?
Yeah, we mentioned possibly Some Like It Hot. You know, that's a possibility.
Yeah, definitely.
And there was Gilda. There's a few others. I mean, whatever you want, Barbie. Just let me know.
The world is our oyster. This is always so fun. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed tonight.
I did too, Barbie. Thank you so much, and safe travels.
Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Well, there you have it. It happened one night. An all-time classic film for sure. One of the top, Academy Award winners of all time. 5 Academy Awards. Thank you, Barbie, for doing a great job on that. And so that wraps up another Classic Film Zone. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our final segment of the show, and that is Always Chasing Rainbows.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
Okay, well, another wrap to another Chillin' with Larry Megan episode, and we end every show with our Judy Garland segment, Always Chasing Rainbows, and this segment is symbolic. It always stands for to always keep, pursuing your dreams and following your goals. I find Judy Garland's performances to be inspirational, whether we're talking about the movies or her TV show. And tonight, I thought what we haven't taken a look at a Judy Garland in concert. And of course, her concert years were huge in the 1960s. And it was Sid Luft that really brought her back to concerts. I think it was her 4th husband. And the last time we took a look at Judy in concert was when she did it must have been a couple months ago. She did Over the Rainbow at a concert at the Palace in New York. But here, this is now in 1963, she's over at the Palladium in London. And at 1963, Judy Garland at this time would be 41 years old. And her daughter, Liza Minnelli, was born in 1946. So Liza would be 17 years old. And of course, by this time, Liza had already appeared on her TV show and shown quite a propensity for singing and entertaining and dancing. And she was quite the talent. And, of course, we all know about Liza Minnelli. But this was in her concerts. And, of course, Judy had to be surrounded, by her family. And so she had Liza on tour with her and performing with her in the show. And maybe you've seen this clip before, but it's pretty cool. Now, the footage is a little rough here. It wasn't, this was not like a, produced for TV footage. This is just kind of grab shots here. So the footage is a little bit rough here, but this is 1963. Liza and Judy doing Hello, Dolly.
Mama? Mama? Hello, Liza. Well, it's so nice to have you here where you belong. You're looking swell, Mama. I can tell, Mama. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still growing. 'Cause we feel the room swaying while the band's playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. Oh, take her rap, fellas, find her an extra lap, fellas. Hey, we're never gonna go
Well, there you have it. It's hard to believe that's almost 50 years ago. That's 49 years ago, 1963. Wow, time flies. But Liza and Judy in England at the Palladium. So there we have another wrap on the show, another wrap for Chilling with Larry Megan. And I want to thank Barbara for coming in, doing the Classic Film Zone. And I want to give a big shout out to John. Can we just show that graphic just by itself, Ronnie? Is that possible? You know, the Chilling with Larry Megan, the new graphic. We just got it literally like 30 minutes before the show went on tonight. And I just love the new graphic. John, thanks so much. He doesn't like us to tell his last name. He told me, don't say my last name. So I won't say it, John, but you know who you are. And great job. That's really nice. But we're going to incorporate that now, all new graphics throughout the show and everything, bottom thirds and all kinds of things. We're going to make a new opening for the show and everything. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. The next couple of weeks, we will have shows. I'm thinking about maybe showing some old footage of some of the early Chilling with Larry Megans from almost 2 years ago, over a year and a half ago. And I'll be here to anchor it. But just remember to always keep pursuing your goals, your dreams, keep following your dreams. Always keep chasing those rainbows. Until next week, I'm Larry Megan. Peace, love, and all good things.
Chill with Larry Megan.